Welcome back, ladies and gents. We're back for our usual weekly pod, following a couple of weeks off, where we've been sort of tied up doing a few interviews here and there. But yeah, we had a few sort of successful ones, and we've got a few that are in the bag, ready to release, that are going to be coming out in the next week or so. The Cameron Goff and Billy Joe Saunders one seemed to go down quite well, lads. And yeah, fingers crossed that fight goes ahead, because it's all up in the air at the moment. But fingers crossed it goes ahead and Bill gets the job done and comes back on and shows off his belts for us at some point. Would be nice. But yeah, and we've also got the Ivor Heller interview being released later on this week, who's the commercial director of AFC Wimbledon and the founder of the club, which was a brilliant interview. So yeah, that's another good one to come out this week. But let's get sort of straight into the breakdown of the week's games that have just gone involving our clubs. Obviously, one of which didn't go ahead, but we'll get on to that. Going to be a bit of a short one involving my team, because we had a bit of a gathering at my house this weekend, which for the first time in God knows how long. And yeah, multiple beers flowed, and I must admit I didn't show much interest in the Leeds Brighton game, lads. So yeah, it's going to be a short one. But
what happened, mate?
Yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, so yeah, first game in is that. So Brighton 2, Leeds 0. And from my point of view, talking us through it is, I spent 15 quid on Leeds United to win, because we were 5-2 before the game. I fancied that big time. And thanks to the whole fucking social media blackout, cheers Premier League, I didn't know Calvin Phillips weren't fucking playing until the teams came out, and I was like, oh, thanks for that. That's 15 quid down the fucking drain. So I was immediately in a bad mood, and it wasn't helped by the first however many minutes of the game, where we looked absolutely shite. It's quite hard to sort of play football, I'd assume, for the boys when you've been going into some big games and then you have to turn out against fucking Brighton. Do you know what I mean? It can't help. Like you're playing the Super League boys week in, week out, and then all of a sudden you're going to a Division 4 club. Can't be ideal for the boys to prepare for, but one of them. But as Brighton turned up, it's their cup final at Brighton. Apparently, at the start of this season, they were all giving it the big one on Twitter that we're their rivals and this, that, and the other. So for some reason, because they held on to a loan player that we had on loan in the Championship, who wouldn't get in our team now, apparently they're big rivals of us. But yeah, enjoy your relegation survival fight this year, guys. Yeah, just one of them, isn't it? But
taking it well, wasn't he? Taking it well, Phil.
Fantastically.
Bitter.
Bitter.
But yeah, to be fair, a bit of an irrelevant game. Nothing to play for us.
Good goal, though.
Showed if we'd have won it, we'd have still had a glimmer of hope of pushing the top 7, but it was never realistically going to happen. So yeah, that's pretty much just sealed our season is going to be like between that sort of 9th to 11th. Us, Villa and Arsenal fighting it out between us three, really, for positions. But
you've got to be happy with that, though.
Oh, buzzing. Yeah, 100%. But it's quite frustrating when you've gone through the whole season where pretty much every game's been quite exciting. Now it's like, oh, fuck, like losing that now is sort of like...
Bit deflating.
Yeah, there's no like glimmer of hope for us to sort of go, oh, maybe if we win this, like we've got a chance of catching Tottenham or whatever. Now it's sort of like, well, season's over, really, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Like you said, I'll take it. It's been a good season for us, but it just again highlights how much we miss Calvin Phillips when he don't play. We're just not the same outfit without that boy. He's so vital to everything we do, and again, there's a few weak links that I can't see sticking around for much longer, really, within the first team anyway, like Tyler Roberts. As much as it pains me to say, Matthias Klick, he just hasn't been the same since about 3 months into the season. He's been one of my favourite players over the last few seasons, but he just doesn't seem the same anymore. To be honest, 3 seasons under Bielsa has probably taken its toll on him now. I think he's 30, 31. He's probably just I suppose, burnt him out, and he's getting to that stage in his career. He's had a bit of a niggly injury, and I can't see him really recovering to the stage that the level he was at one point. But all in all, just disappointing game really against Brighton. Don't think we really showed up. But yeah, not really too fast. It's just one of them. We move on really. I don't know if you boys have got any opinion on it. I don't think you were taking as much notice as me. Really, we was all too busy chatting shit and eating food.
I was just waiting. Yeah, I was just waiting for the jerk, mate. That's what I was worried about.
For anyone watching or listening, that's jerk chicken, not a hand job.
That come later. That was after the boxing. I got that.
It was when you slept with Greg, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Like Greg was saying, yeah, I thought Welbeck's goal was top draw. To be fair, yeah,
took it well.
He did take it well. I mean, poor old Stroik. He didn't know where to go, did he? The poor fucker. He just. But yeah, no, but yeah. Again, I didn't watch the game. I was just I wanted to get pissed and eat food. To be fair, I was munching crisps and Doritos and nacho sauce. Lovely.
It's a weird one, yeah. Like I never ever watch Leeds either in a pub or with friends or whatever, unless I'm at the game. Like. Because I like to concentrate on the games, you know what I mean? And when there's other, you just can't do it. And if anything, it was probably a blessing that was the game that everyone come over for, because I was quite happy to just go off when Welbeck put that second goal in. It was like, okay, yeah, turn this off. We put FIFA on that.
He's got about a strike rate of 1 in 50 and all. So, yeah, it was definitely time to turn off when he produced that.
About as quick as Welbeck turned, Tell done that with the telly straight to FIFA, mate. Off he goes.
Yeah.
It was better than early on in the season when McTominay put the second one in and the controller went snap instead. It was,
did you do that, did you?
Yeah, snapped it straight in half, threw it on the rug and walked out the door, and Hannah was sitting here like, "You all right?"
Not really.
Stuck with football and it can't turn it over.
I had a little 5-minute breather, having a little walk, and then come back in and compose myself.
He was 4-0 down.
Was that? Yeah, pretty much. Fucking nightmare. That was the same day that the hole came in the wall. It just appeared after. I don't know what happened there.
I didn't notice that actually, but I didn't want to ask any questions.
Yeah, that was. I think that might have been the third or the fourth one in and fist through.
Fair play.
Yeah.
No.
Shit happens. But
Game,
yeah, it's just one of them, isn't it? Shit happens. But yeah, that's what brings that game to an end, because I can't really break it down much because I'm not really taking any notice. Sorry, guys. But it takes us on to the next game, which was the following day. I don't know how much notice you boys took, because if it was anything like me, you were hanging out of your ass. So Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. Matty, we'll start with you, mate.
Well, it wasn't actually that bad, to be fair. So I did watch the game, but I'm sure as Dave, when it goes on to Dave, he'll say the same thing. It was pretty much felt like it was an end of season game going through the motions. I thought it was important for us to pick up points there on the road, but I can't say the game was that exciting, to be honest. I just thought we'd done what we needed to do. As soon as we got the second goal, it was just basically just keep ball, really. I was pleased that Nene when he scored, because he doesn't get many, and he doesn't get many starts either. But
I forgot he existed.
Yeah.
I saw his name. I was like, hey, he's done all right.
Done all right.
He's been about with Arteta, like he loves him.
Huh?
He loves him, doesn't he, Arteta? He's always been about.
I think if you look at the other two players, I mean, obviously Xhaka's filling in at left back, and I have to say, on the whole, I don't think he's done a bad job at left back, but it's quite mystifying how we don't have another left-footed player that can play there in the Premier League squad. That is worrying, to be honest.
But David Luiz, he's got 2 left feet.
Yeah, he got injured again, so he could be out for the rest of the season. Apparently, he come back first game back and his hamstring's gone, so he's out. But yeah, he's for Martinelli. I just don't know how he doesn't start games. I don't know what. Obviously, Dave will have his say in a minute, but the geezer's just a bundle of energy. Doesn't stop running. doesn't stop working. And that cross he did for Aubameyang's finish was absolutely fantastic, in the words of Harry. Great finish by Aubameyang. And still, for me, I know he's obviously just come back from malaria, so he's not 100%. But I thought he played all right. But it was a great finish, and we just did what we needed to do. And happy that we got the points, to be honest, because I think that was the first win in like 5 or 6 in the Prem. So, yeah, I'll take that.
Fair play, mate. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, same as really. It wasn't really a game that felt like it had a lot riding on it. The little run Newcastle have just been on sort of given them that element of safety where I think they feel they've done enough pretty much now. So
it says it all, Dave, that they rested their best player in Joe Linton. Like,
stop it.
However, though,
Joe Willock couldn't play either.
Did you see their form coming into the game, though?
Was that?
They picked up some points at some big places that they got to draw at Anfield.
They did a few last-minute equalisers. Joe Willock had a big part in playing that. Joe Willock, yeah.
But to be fair, he's been a pretty shrewd signing from them. He's had some real vital contributions, and it came at the right time that Saint-Maximin and Wilson sort of came back into their team when they really needed them.
Yeah,
and I think it was clever from Newcastle really to come in for him, because it wasn't sort of, sometimes you get these players who they're just not playing a lot and they think, oh, they're from a club supposedly higher than us, maybe they'll add a bit of quality. With him, it was more than that. It was like he had a point to prove. Like when he's playing from, obviously he's on loan, so yeah, he's obviously playing for Newcastle, but he's playing for himself as well to prove that he can hack it at that level. So everyone's a winner really, because sometimes when you play, obviously Arsenal don't have it easy by any stretch a lot of the time, but when you play for a team with a lot of possession in certain games, especially in the Europa League where we're dominating most games, some of these players can get away with not doing the hard yards and just being used to being on the ball all the time. It's good from an Arsenal point of view that Willock's gone to a team like that, because you can see the benefits from Smith Rowe playing at these other places like Huddersfield, where you've got a graft and you're fighting in the trenches to not even to win, but just to survive. So it can only be a good thing for him, especially that he's had a crucial part with the goals he's come up with. So that's definitely a positive all round, really, that one. But not that he would have played anyway, but the whole, like I said, Newcastle seemed a bit flat. We played all right, not amazing, but just better than Newcastle, and we just took our chances. The goal within 4 minutes from Elneny just settled the nerves, and basically Newcastle really didn't have an answer. Later, we didn't have loads and loads of chances, but when Aubameyang got one, he put it away, which was good to see. And just echoing what Matt said there about Martinelli, it is mystifying why he's not playing more, because when we've looked at our best this season, we've had Tierney on the left, and most of our attacks have come from that left-hand side with Tierney getting to the byline, delivering balls with quality into the box. And when he hasn't played, we've really missed him. But you could see in that game, when Martinelli plays there, even though he's right-footed, he still gets a lot of quality in from that left-hand side, and he's just a problem. Like, he doesn't look like fun to play against. And I think we should have used him, or Arteta should have used him earlier in the season to solve a few problems, whether it is out wide on the left or whether it's through the middle. He can answer a lot of problems that we have in terms of creativity and energy up front. So yeah, coming out of this, I want to see him play at start in that semi-final. That's going to be really important for us to do.
I thought, especially, I agree with what you say. There's a lot of times in games when we were level or we needed something to spark to change. You're looking at the bench thinking, surely he's got to bring him on now, last 20. He's just been left on the bench and not even come on. That just, like, same as David, it just baffles me. I don't know if he knows where he wants to play him. Does he want to play him central? Does he want to play him wide? I don't really know.
I think the problem as such, like, he's very versatile. He could play left of a free, right of a free, up front. He could even play in the 10. And I think sometimes when you've got a player that can do that and he's breaking into a team, it can leave a manager in a bit of a quandary as to where do we put him? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we throw him through the middle? Do we put him in the 10 or do we throw him out wide? And it can almost benefit a player at that age to have one set position where it's like I play left of a free, for example, and it's like, right, that's where you're going to bring him in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that could have almost held him back in a little bit in terms of that.
But you can still step through certain positions to get to where you want to be. Like, but it's just surprising because you look at Saka and his development, the way they've handled that's just been perfect. Like the way they've sort of drip fed him into the team. Then he established himself at left back with having loads of battles, pressure at left back. Then he moved forward to the wing, and now he's an out and out forward, and that's his position. So much so that when we are gagging for someone to play at left back, he's reluctant to bring him back there.
Yeah. So almost you lose at that going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So with Martinelli, I know he's never going to play as a fullback, but certainly have a run in the team on the wing and then establish himself as a forward on that left hand side, because even for a young player, he's very disciplined with his positioning. Like if you see that, particularly that game, he doesn't get sucked in field because he's not got the ball for a while. He stays right out wide and gives us that width. And when you've got someone like Smith Rowe who loves having that bit of space in the middle, it just helps other players play when you've got someone who's got the discipline to stay that wide. And I mean, it's easy to say, but I do think we should just build the team and play the young players. It's Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli on the pitch at the same time. You've got a chance.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of Arsenal, boys, what's your thoughts on this whole takeover speculation with the guy from Spotify and like the Arsenal legends that he's got in like behind him by all accounts? Because I see something today, I haven't really read into it, but I see something about Thierry Henry was saying that he, by all accounts, pushing it. And
apparently the Arsenal Supporters Trust have had positive conversations moving forward that the Kroenkes are going to look at the bid. This is if you believe what you read, but everyone's got a price, whether it's for a player, a club, whatever it is. So it all depends. It all depends on what he's willing to accept to move it on. But maybe having a fresh impetus in terms of having a fresh pair of eyes and a bit of a different structure at the top will help us move forward, because we haven't moved at all forward under the Kroenkes. Not prepared to put any of his own money in the club. He's just milking whatever he's getting out of it. But, you know, the club will end up devaluing more and more and more the longer they stay in power, in my opinion. And if this Ek, who is an Arsenal fan, apparently, if that is the case and he's got the club's best intentions at heart, then why not let him have a conversation to try and take over the club? I can understand it being a positive move, but
I don't know what you think, Dave, but like from like an outsider looking at it, he might just be another Kroenke, for example, and doesn't really know too much about the football side of things. But it can only be a positive when he's getting in touch with your likes of Vieira and Henry and Bergkamp and getting them on board, because that might be him even saying, look, I don't really know the club as much as I would like, or as much like as the fans would want or would be ideal, but you three do. What can I do here?
Yeah, the thing that's encouraging is we've been saying for ages, we need a change. The Kroenkes, they're not interested in football. They're not interested in Arsenal. They just want to have this little money maker just keep churning the pound notes for them. But so we wanted a change from like one of these owners who actually cares about football. But this seems to be going even one better. He's someone who likes football, but he's actually supposedly a lifelong Arsenal fan. Always supported the club, always loved it. There's stories, obviously it could be a load of rubbish, but there's stories that he sits there watching games on his laptop while he's at work and stuff. He never misses blah, blah, blah. But it sounds encouraging that he does care about the club, and it's not just like he wants to, obviously he's going to expect a return on his investment, but it sounds like he's getting involved because he's just a fan who is sick of it and can do something about it. And the fact, like you just said, the fact that he's got these legends, he'll throw in their names and their weight behind it, when a lot of the time they don't say too much, sort of shows that it's probably is very serious proposition and they believe in it. Like after the ESL thing, Henry basically come out and said how he disapproved of it all. And he said that he'd been reluctant on speaking out against the Kroenkes because he didn't want to say anything that would damage the club. But he said now this whole thing has made him realise that football's for the fans and the clubs are for the fans, and he is a fan. He's an Arsenal fan, so he's doing his bit to say that it's not right and put his weight behind the Daniel Ek bid. And from the sounds of it, it sounds like the guy's serious. Apparently, he's already gone and got the whatever you do to approve that someone's got the funds to
funds and that. Yeah.
Apparently, he's done all that stuff. He's planning on making a 1.8 million bid as an opening bid.
1.8 million.
Billion.
1.8. Sorry, billion. Did I say million?
Yeah, I was going to say, fucking hell, that's cheap.
Well, we are shit at the moment, but you know.
Well, chip in together, boys. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, apparently he's going to offer about 1.8 billion, and the Cronkies have said the standard. Oh, we're not. Club's not up for sale under any circumstances. Blah blah blah. But people in business are saying that, well, that's what you say to keep the price high. But apparently what's coming out now is unofficially Arsenal's been up for sale for about 2 years.
That's definitely up for sale for that amount of money. Like, no club gets sold at that price.
Yeah. So apparently that Arsenal over the last 2 years he's been basically saying if someone can offer around 1.7 billion. Now listen, he's talking about offering 1.8 billion as his opener. So if your opening bid is 1.8 billion, then
what are you prepared to
stretch a bit further?
What's 100 million between friends?
Yeah. So to be honest, I can see it happening. To be honest, if basically it comes down to if he's going to offer enough money, and it sounds like
about at the end of the day, though, isn't it? It's about nothing less.
Yeah, and the other thing is from the start. Apparently, he's spoken to the Arsenal supporter groups and has basically said he is open and more than open, wants there to be fan ownership involved. Whether or not it's going to be exactly like this 51% model that the Germans have, I'm not sure, but it sounds like part of the whole thing is that he wants the Arsenal supporters to basically have a voice in running the club and everything like that. So, I mean, I'm hearing nothing but positive so far. So yeah, I mean, fingers crossed it happens like we hope it will and turn out we hope it will.
Might be able to stream Arsenal games on Spotify and all, lads.
Well, exactly, yeah. Like it.
You're right, wasn't it? But yeah, no, it sounds positive, mate. You never know. They always sound positive at first glance, anyway, don't they?
Yeah, and I'm not being funny. He can't say it's so easy for someone to come in now and say he wants to buy a club. These big six are in such a state at the moment with what their owners have done. Anyone coming in, you can say you know what to say, and you're going to have all these people on your side. You know what I mean? Just I want to buy the club. Yeah, all these little things. So yeah.
You'll never get it cheap as well. You probably won't ever get it cheaper. They're looking like there's a massive chance they're not even going to be in Europe. They're so right on the table. The opinion of the club is the lowest it's been for decades. If you are going to buy it, now's the time, really.
Yeah, no, that's true, mate.
Something needs to happen. Any Arsenal fan can see that. So obviously, there's only 4 games for us left in the Prem, and the summer is huge. In terms of investment, would Arteta stay as manager? I mean, ask me after Villarreal on Thursday, and we'll see what we're saying then. But
get Emery back in after that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. But yeah, I just think obviously the game against Villarreal is it's season defining really because we're not playing for anything else. So it's just a huge few weeks for us now in different aspects for the club, but I don't even know if the Europa League saves his job, to be honest. If you look at it over the course of the season, come on, mate, 9th, 10th.
Yeah, but you get Champions League then.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing that saves him. But realistically, are we going to beat you in the final if we play you in the final? I can't see that happening in a mother of Sundays, mate.
Our fans are probably protesting. Get called off. Don't worry about it. Our fans will probably kick up a stink and the game will get called off. Don't worry. Yeah. You'll win by default.
The other thing we've got to look at it as well is how many managers that are currently in place survive when a new owner comes in. Very few. So if that did go ahead, they might want to bring their own man in as well. Do you know what I mean? You never know. It might even be a fucking Henry or Vieira if they've got them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's...
opinion's still a bit divided on Arteta. I think a lot of other clubs of our stature, he wouldn't have got the time that he's got, especially the way it was going in, November, December, when we were just fucking losing every week. I mean, we're in a relegation zone at one point. It was worrying times. Obviously, we strung a few wins together and went up the table a little bit. But all in all, it's been a very unsuccessful season, hasn't it, really? You can't say it's been a success in any way, shape or form. So,
yeah.
The only thing we've got left to play for. So,
well let's sort of move on anyway, boys, to the game that never was. Man United, Liverpool. Obviously, like Greg and Kyle would usually be sort of breaking down this, but it was a bit of a shambles, really, lads, wasn't it? Let's be fair. Like,
nothing to report here.
Yeah, there's nothing to report game wise. But what were your sort of like in short term? Because I'm no doubt we're gonna go on to this when it gets to baller of the week, donkey of the week, because this subject will more than likely come up. But what were your sort of thoughts like as it was happening? Because it was a bit of a weird situation, really. Like we'll go with you first, Kyle, because it was your boys at home. So and it was your boys that got it called off.
Yeah, I mean, I was all day. I was a bit hanging. All day I've been looking forward to the game. It gets to 4:30, and I mean, I had a little nap at 4, and I've set me alarm, and it's kick off delayed. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! I mean, I get why they're doing it. I do get what they're protesting about, but you hear a lot of the pundits say it was a peaceful one. I'm sorry, to break into a stadium and throw flares at the pundits. I mean, that's not peaceful. That's not a peaceful protest.
Cut mate's eye open and all.
Yeah, that's not peaceful. You didn't need to do that. It didn't need to be that way. And you got the game abandoned. What's like? Surely that was not your intention. Protest, yes. Scream your fucking arse out. I get that. I want the Glazers gone. But what they done for me is wrong. They went about it completely the wrong way.
Like there's a way of doing it. Like look at the Leeds Liverpool game the other week when the whole ESL thing went off. That was the way of doing it. Liverpool fans and the Leeds fans got together, and they made their opinions heard outside the ground. But you do it in a sensible manner, like.
Yeah,
and that's rare for Leeds fans to get on their high horse about being sensible. But come on, like that was silly, wasn't it? Really,
it was mad. Just vandalising their own stadium, literally, just chucking stuff all over the gaff. I mean, what are you doing? And yeah, I honestly, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was again, I do understand it, but I don't agree with what they've done. And I know it's the minority, but in so many cases, throughout everything, the minority do ruin it for the majority. But yeah. That's what it was for me. I just think it just was not needed at all. I just think you're fucking well done and ruined my fucking afternoon anyway.
Matty, before we come to you, because I know you want to come in on this, but we'll just ask Greg what his sort of thoughts were from the Liverpool point of view.
Oh, mate, to be honest, a bit like I was sitting there and waiting, and then they see delayed, and then I'm not. I saw that they cleared it. They pretty much cleared the stadium. All right, there was a breach into it and that, but once you clear the situation, surely the players, they could have sprayed it and got it all done. We could have played the game, surely. But I don't know. They're saying that they messed with the preparations. They'd already eaten, and then it was going to be too late and shit. Like I don't know, too many reasons. But it's just madness for what went on. Like absolute madness. And what did that camera ever do to that geezer?
Well, they ain't fucking cheap, mate.
Mate,
on-ring camera.
What was it? What was his problem? Oh, fucking matey over there. Fucking.
Funny.
The thing is, it's not even Man United's camera. That'll be the camera crew.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
trick.
Some bloke who's having his lunch before the game. He's come back. His camera's smashed.
Where's my tripod?
What are you doing?
Where's my tabby?
That is the most pointless thing ever.
This will show them.
Yeah, I'll get them, shall I?
Have that, Glazers. They're like, fuck?
Nah.
I mean, if I got on the pitch, I promise you now, all I'd be doing is fucking picking up a football and getting in the net. I'll be like, I think there's fucking 70,000 people in there.
Off the back of that, there was a couple of fucking fantastic moments. So I just want to bring them alight. So there was one which was Matey, who I've seen like a compilation video where they show. You remember the Rooney overhead kick?
Yeah.
Off his shin. So it shows that. So it shows the cross. It shows Rooney going up, and it shows some fucking fat mank bloke who broke into the stadium, and his mate's thrown the ball up, and he's done the overhead, and he's shown that. And then the other honourable mention is Matey, who's sitting on top of the net, giving it a big.
That was funny.
And some bloke has just fizzed one in the top bins from fucking 30 yards and pinged him onto the deck.
Yeah, I see that one was quality.
Fucking outstanding. I must admit, when I see that, it was like, I had to applaud it. It was fucking superb.
Like you say, if it was all that sort of
grandkids
stuff,
anyway.
Yeah.
If it was all that sort of stuff, it would have been cool. Like, people would probably be laughing about it. But when to go and start smashing up like hospitality areas and going into dressing rooms, because I think that was the main reason it got called off, is because they belongings and it was not COVID secure anymore.
The best thing ever would have been if they just played a match. The people that got on, shirts for skins or something, like loads of fat blokes against fucking
70 versus 70.
Yeah,
just
fucking brilliant. And rather than smash the
those you
camera
born in the
up,
first half of the year.
filming.
Those of you born in the second half of the year.
They could have just televised that. I'd have watched it.
Oh,
But
it was a shambles. It was mad.
we'll come to you, Matty, because you wanted to say something, mate.
I just wanted to ask Kyle. I mean, I'm not really aware of what the situation is with the Glazers and Man United and the relationship behind it, but I managed to catch a bit of Sky Sports News during my lunch hour today, and basically what that Cavalier is it Cavalier Sokolev, whatever it's called on Sky.
Sokolov.
Yeah,
Sokolevsky. What is it?
It sounds like a dodgy vodka, doesn't it? Yeah, what he was basically saying is that, or if I caught this right, I just wanted to clear this up. So the Glaziers had borrowed money against Manchester United, like a mortgage.
Yeah.
But they weren't paying the money back themselves. They're using revenue that the club has made to pay this money back.
To pay the debt off, yeah.
And that's why it's so controversial, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realise any of this.
Ain't they paying something like 80p to the pound or something?
It was something crazy, and I was sitting there scratching my head. I only had about sort of 5 minutes to sort of digest that, and I was like, no wonder the Man United fans are pissed off. Like, I couldn't believe it. Especially an institute of like what Man United is. Let's get it right, whether you like it or not. Biggest club in the world, I think, bar maybe like Real Madrid or Barcelona. I just wanted to know what you thought of that, and obviously,
but
out as well. I take it.
Simon Jordan picked up on a good thing earlier when I was listening to him. What has it actually changed for United? Listen, the thing is,
more Norwich scarves.
More Norwich, yeah. Cheers, Delia.
Let's be having you.
Listen, I do get again why the fans want them gone. I want them gone, but they're still allowing 80 million for Maguire. They're still buying these players.
Well, the thing
they're spending 80 million on shit.
No, I know, but that's not completely their fault. They don't sit at home going, I want Maguire. You know, the manager comes in with targets. Listen, I'm not defending them by any stretch of imagination, but
sounds like you are, mate.
No, I'm not. I want them gone. But Simon Jordan said,
you've been a bit lucky in terms of obviously on the pitch, in terms of where you are in your league position, would suggest otherwise, because you've still spent £1 billion on players in the last few seasons.
We're second. I think City. I've spent about 800 odd million in transfers, I think, and then we spent about 760 odd. So we're not far behind City. So that's what I'm saying. Money is still being there to buy the players. Yeah. But obviously, with what they're doing, you know, how they are generally running the club. Yeah, that's what
I suppose that's what sort of must be a bit of a sore point with you guys, is the fact that the noisy neighbours as such. It's not like they've come in and they're spending 3 times more than you. They're spending pretty much the same amount, and they're only up until a couple of weeks ago we're on for a quadruple. You guys are on for like the fucking Vauxhall Conference of European football. Like that's all you've got in the back. Like, do you know what I mean? But realistically, like from a club of your stature, to be spending the amount of money that you're spending and not really challenging for anything can't sit well. Like it's easy for other fans, like fans of like my club and other clubs, to go fucking away moaning. You're second in the league. You're in the fucking semi-final in the Europa League. But when you're spending the money that the elite are spending and you're not challenging with them, and you technically should be with the stature of your club, it can't be.
No, and again, it's the facilities as well. You look at growing up as kids, Old Trafford was like the pinnacle. Like it was just there weren't even nothing close to it. Literally, there was nothing.
Ellen Road pisses all over it, mate. I don't know what you're on about.
Maybe for noise, but that's about it. But like everything's dropped now. You look at all Tottenham, the new state, everyone else's facilities. The Glazers have got no interest in doing anything like that. So you just think they're just, again, it's a bit like, same as Arsenal. They're just not interested in the club. They're just in it.
Business, isn't it?
It's a business, but
I agree with what you're saying, because if they were paying back this money, the other money that you would be making would be invested back in the team, would be invested
into the club
infrastructure, would be invested in elsewhere, youth development or whatever it is, and that's not happening. So yeah, it's got to be. And I think obviously in the era of Fergie, etc., or what I would call growing up watching the Premier League, doesn't it seem to you like all these clubs are under threat from one wrong move and the whole plug just gets pulled? Like I can imagine that Arsenal would ever be in the position that they were now, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago.
Matty, look at where we ended up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's frightening, and I still don't know how Leeds made it back. I mean,
mate, it took us 16 years.
Yeah, mental.
16 years. I remember having bets with people at school, when we got relegated. Like, fuck it, we'll be back in Champions League within 3 seasons. We'll be back in the top 4 within this amount. Like, all of that. 16 years later, we're still outside the fucking Premier League. Like, and during that time, went down to League One.
If you
it's easily done, mate.
If you get relegated, there's a serious chance that you're never coming back. Like a
very serious chance.
Because 75% of your players are going to leave, and you've got to rebuild all over again.
Yeah.
And you obviously, because of Leeds is a household name in terms of they are a massive football club, and you made it back finally. But I mean, fucking hell, 16 years. I mean, Jesus.
Mate, there's nearly 2 generations of football fans that don't know of Leeds United as a big club.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, for fans of my era and like yesteryear, like older than me, like my dad's age and like my granddad's age and people like that, for them that would be mind blowing. That would be like the equivalent of in fucking 20 years time, people not knowing of Arsenal as a Premier League club.
Well, even it's even happened to a certain degree. Like some people don't know how good Arsenal were. Like people who are of an age where they've only been watching football properly for, say, the last 10 or 15 years will probably have memories of Arsenal similar to Tottenham, like a good team playing good football but not winning any trophies, and then now stuttering along, odd trophy here, odd trophy there, but not really doing a lot, and not actually realising they were at one point the best team in the country.
The Invincibles, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Some people have no memory of that, and it's like so far in the past, it's like, what are you talking about? You can't Liverpool before they won their trophies, their recent trophies. People would sort of think, "What you talk Liverpool? They're a dinosaur. What are you talking about? They're not a big team." But then
you can't live off that forever.
My whole life, literally, I'd seen us won a Coca-Cola Cup, and then it weren't until like the 2000s that Houllier come along, and we done the treble, and then we've had the Champions League in between, and then obviously last year that league was the one.
But again, for a club of Liverpool,
30 odd years.
Yeah, 30 dominated not just English football, but world football for years.
That's what I mean. Most of my life, I'd seen us in the league, time after time, close.
Miroslav.
There you go. It's just literally, mate. It's taken so long, and do you know what I mean? And lucky enough, like my boy, he's seen it when he's 8 years old. Do you know what I mean?
He won't see it again.
You never know. You never know, mate. But at least he's
Greg
seen
will
one.
have the Betamax out in about 5 years' time.
He's done it early doors. I've wasted 30 odd years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain degree, what we're saying there about how these certain clubs have had their moment and they fall far away from where they were, and then fans of that then present time can't believe that they were a big team. The same way as the people who were around then can't believe they're not a big team anymore. And I think that's what's happening with Man United. People are sort of going, "Oh, what are you moaning about? You spent nearly £1 billion. How many teams would love that investment? You're in second place." But the truth is, they were like so stratospherically high.
Oh yeah.
That this feels like so crap. And obviously, I know people can sort of turn their nose up and go, "Oh well, you know, welcome to the real world of being a football fan or whatever." But it's all relative of where you were at your height. And the fact is, the Glazers bought the biggest football club in the world. They were miles ahead of Real Madrid and Barcelona at the time.
And now they're not even the biggest in their city.
Oh dear.
Now they had success in the years following where they won the Champions League again and won several leagues. But after that, they've never been as high as they were in terms of being. They still sort of, as we still think of them as like the biggest team.
Yeah.
It says everything that you still think of them potentially as the biggest team in the world where they are. Like if I know Carl's loving this, look at his face, but
He's fuming.
I'm loving what you're saying, Dave. He's fucking that scum in the fucking.
But it's true, though. It's true. It is true. I mean, Barcelona and Real Madrid, I know they're having tough times now, but to Man United, it must piss them off with Man United still being spoken about in the same breath. But the fact is, if Man United were back at getting in Champions League finals, winning the Premier League, they would be regularly, they'll be all pissing all over Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Getting in the Champions League will be a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Ollie's back at the wheel.
Obviously, it never gets highlighted until someone's gone, but it makes what Wenger did even more impressive. The fact that when we bought the Emirates, we were having to sell our best player every single year. How the fuck he finished in the top 4 that many times in a row? I don't know.
To pay that debt off and stay up there in where you need to be to keep the money coming in those top 4 players. Because I know everyone thinks, oh yeah, you know how boring's that finishing 4th every year. Some years, yeah,
I'll take that right now.
It's easy, yeah. But some years you look, it was within a point, goal difference. Sometimes they had to fucking fight to stay in there.
I'm still adamant. I want him as the next England manager. I know, like it's a bit of a I think it would be such a fucking shrewd move to get the guy in.
I'm surprised he's not come back to manage, but maybe he's just had enough. And doesn't he work for FIFA now?
Yeah.
Capacity, and obviously he's a pundit to some extent, I think, as well. But
he's a good person to have high up in FIFA to keep the kind of the morals of football and what it's all about, like in the right place.
Fucking morals of football. He was a cheat for about 20 years when he was at your club. The fucking do you know what I mean? Get in the crowd, fella.
I know what you're talking about.
Can't even do a coat up.
Go on, Greg. You had something, mate.
That was funny for you, actually.
No, mate. Just back to that whole point. Like the thing is, obviously, how many of our clubs now are wanting their owners out because of the this big six stuff. But look at how you've got to replace them. You can only replace them with billionaires.
Oh yeah.
And billionaires that are interested. Obviously, you've got one interested at the minute. Brilliant. If he can come in and change the ways, then fair enough. But it's like United fans doing that on the weekend. Our fans have done it. Chelsea fans have done it. If you want these people out, you need to replace them with billionaires. So who is it? And
they're not everywhere, mate.
Are they going to be better? They might be arseholes for doing what they're doing, but on our part, they don't just come along. And unless a better one comes along, who I don't know, we've got to see this out.
It's not like years ago, is it, where you could just get sort of a local successful businessman from Liverpool.
No, it's gone beyond that.
A millionaire who's got the club at heart.
Yes,
and
it's gone beyond that. Beyond that.
They can't run a football club anymore. It's too big of a business nowadays. So
it's billionaire, literally.
Unfortunately, the tide has turned where I see it more, not more. I don't know if it's the right thing to say, more as a business than a sport, because that's what it's becoming.
100%.
Like Greg said,
no, it's become that, Matty. It's gone.
It has become that way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sad, really, isn't it?
They don't care about the football. All they care about is lining them pockets.
Profit, turnover. How much money can I make?
Taking the dividends out of the club and shit like that.
There's only certain people of a financial status that can put in a bid to buy a football club. So it's worrying times, I think, for the game. In fairness,
it needs a restructure from top to bottom.
That's the debate partly that you're not relying on some unbelievably rich benefactor. Yeah, every club's going to need that to some degree, but they want to see not just anybody run these clubs. It needs to be someone with some sort of affection or care towards at least the game, the individual club itself. And then there's the debate about bringing in part fan ownership, just to keep everything honest in terms of what direction the club wants to go in. And you're right, it's going to take something from a government level to restructure it. And it's in Germany, so why can't it work here?
Yeah, it's an interesting debate, boys, isn't it? It really is. But so probably something that we'll no doubt speak about in later episodes as well, especially sort of in the post season as we're going into the transfer market and that, when we're going to be doing episodes. I'm sure that this will be sort of a big debate that we go through, you know what I mean? But let's sort of go beyond the game that never was, and we'll go into our baller of the week and donkey of the week. So we'll just fly through our sort of nominations for sort of each of them as we go. I don't know who wants to start. If anyone, I'll tell you what. Let's go with. We go with the baller first. And we'll start with Greg and then Kyle to go after that. As you boys didn't have a game to even get behind this weekend, we'll let you boys nominate first. It's only fair. So Greg, we'll go with you first, mate. Who's your baller of the week?
Baller. Well, to be fair, there was quite a few good.
Don't you fucking dare mention a Brighton player.
No, I mean that turn and finish, rolling back the years, wasn't it, from Welbs?
Simply red.
But Aguero's finish was good. I like that. He come back and looked so sharp. It was unreal. But I mean, you can't really look past. Oh, Gareth, can you?
Yeah.
For the benefit of the audio listeners, Greg's doing the old love art Gareth Bale celebration there.
But I mean, hat-trick
against a relegated team.
Oh, mate, still, his runs and that was decent, and he's got hat-trick.
Fuck off.
Oh, shit. Kyle, what about you, mate?
I'm going to go for Mr. Mikel Antonio, just because I just think West Ham, they needed the wins to get into the last 4 games of the season. Now they went behind against Burnley, and he pulled them back and won them the game. So good old Mikel.
Fair play. DS.
I'm not choosing Bale. No way. I thought Havertz looked good after being left out. Got come into the team and he looked good. 2 goals. Kai
Havertz. First time he's ever been nominated for anything this season, unless it was Donkey, actually. Boyle?
Yeah, it was actually a throw up between Antonio and Havertz, but I decided to go with same as Kyle for Antonio because, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, West Ham fans won't like this, but I think they're punching well above their weight, West Ham, to be fair.
At 10 positions.
His goals have just been, he looks like, I mean, he was good last season, but he looks unbelievable this season.
When he's fit, yeah.
I mean, the second goal that he scored, that was class. That was absolute class. The way he just nipped that and it just took the sting out of it. Oh man, what a goal!
He is getting better with age.
I think he's really good, and he is their hope of finishing in that top 4. I think with Chelsea, they've got other players that can score goals. It can be shared, the responsibility. I think West Ham pin a lot on Antonio and him staying fit.
Jay Lings.
Huh?
What about Jay Lings?
We're not talking about Man United loanees. We're talking about. But yeah, obviously Lingard's been massive for Man United, and that was a great move for him. But I just think, yeah, he's the difference between them finishing in the Champions League position. So yeah, he's turned up again, and he's got to get the vote, I'm afraid.
Fair play. Well, I've got the deciding vote, and
no pressure.
Sort of, and I'm with Greg, mate. I've gone with Bale. I know it's against Sheffield United and they're fucking shite, and you've got old Heckingbottom, whip ball, out ball.
J.W. Pepper from James Bond.
We're good whip ball. We need to be better out ball. Shout out to Moscow White there from the Square Ball podcast. But yeah, I've got to go with Gareth Bale. His hat-trick was class. Regardless of the opposition, he's still bagging an hat-trick in the Premier League, and it was very fucking good. Antonio running close, I'll give him that. But I've gone with Bale, which leaves us in a bit of a pickle here, because Bale's got 2 votes and so's Antonio, and the only one who didn't vote for him is a fucking Arsenal fan. So I'd usually go to you, Dave, for the deciding vote, and I've got to, haven't I? So yeah, Antonio or Bale for Baller of the Week, mate.
We all know the answer.
What up, Gareth?
No, Mikel Antonio.
You fucking unbelievable, that, isn't it? Unbelievable.
By the way, did anyone see Harry Wilson's hat-trick?
Yes. Oh,
yes.
Wow. All bangers. That first one was disgusting outside of the foot.
Is he playing for Cardiff?
Yeah.
No, I ain't seen
his first hattie.
He's a decent hattie.
Good player.
Yeah, he's got a bit about him.
I don't know if he's going to get in Liverpool's team, though. Not for me.
And then next in, boys, we're now going to move on to Donkey of the Week. I'm going to go in with the first vote. And we did speak about this off air beforehand. And I'm going to vote for Man United as an entity. Purely because more than anything, really, the security, it's fucking shambolic that a group of fat manx can break into a stadium of that like stature and get on the pitch before a Premier League game and be running around the fucking pitch. Like, what is going on?
The theatre of dreams has teen rage bouncers. I mean, do me a favour.
Fucking embarrassing. Like Andy Tate swinging on fucking crossbars. Like, what's going on here? That's before a Premier League game. Like, how high is your security? That's embarrassing. So Manchester United, the scum themselves, are Donkey of the Week for me. Boyle, what's your choice, mate?
Honestly, I'm going to give you an honest opinion. I don't have one. I've seen goals and highlights of some of the games, but there's nothing that sticks out for me to say Donkey. So I'm just going to pass completely. It'd be unfair for me to cast a vote. So
fair play. DS?
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest week, but I'm going to go for Fleck from Sheffield United just for that.
Step on his boat.
It was just like, how did he get away with that?
Yeah, that was cool. Can you imagine if Granit Xhaka had done that, Dave? Jesus.
Oh, mate, he'd be banned from the league. It's like sometimes the player, their eyes go with the ball when they're distracted, and then their foot or their limb does something, and they look back and think, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that." But then he was looking at him, thought, "Yeah, some of that," and it just got away with it. It's just stupid. So yeah, him, Donkey.
Fair point, mate. Kyle.
Yeah, it was a tough one, like a few have said. I mean, I've got to say someone, and I'm only saying this because
Man United.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pascal Struijk.
Just forgetting yourself.
Just taking the L against Brighton after your impressive run and then just getting absolutely spun like that, or see you later. So honestly, I couldn't pick one. And do you know what?
Well, you did.
You just did.
No,
I
feel bad for doing it because, like you say, you probably didn't do a lot wrong. But I literally could not think of one today. I'm certainly not going to pick Man United fans because I know he was wrong. I understand it.
Kyle.
I'm so pleased I get to pass this to a Liverpool fan now. Greg, come on, mate. Who's your pick?
Yeah, no, I was going to go with Pascal Stroik, to be fair.
You fucking cunt.
No,
Poor Greg.
I'm going with the kid that fell off the net. So I mean, that's a Man United
winner.
That's a Man United fan. So I take it it's just Man United in general. Fucking idiots. And I don't know if you saw.
That's some fool, to be fair. That must have hurt.
Do you know when they stormed the ground? Did you see the one Mick Hucknall was pinpointed third man in? Did you see it?
Oh,
some curly haired ginger geezer.
Oh, dear. Rocky Dennis steaming in.
I see the guy in his little zebra pants and the little like there's a little meme thing that's like, babe, I'm gonna go and steamroll Old Trafford. Where's my zebra pants?
I've seen that. You seen the other geezer with his Tesco carrier bag?
No.
He's on the phone as well. He's got a Tesco carrier bag, and his missus is like, make sure you don't forget the bread and the milk, because we need them for the morning. And he says he's got like the meme is saying like, yeah, but I've got to storm Old Trafford as well. She's like, it's fine, just take it with you. And he's got the fucking carrier bag.
Oh,
brilliant.
Wow.
But yeah, that suits me anyway. So donkey of the week is Manchester United, which is the donkey of every week for me. So yeah, we'll have that. And Mikel Antonio is baller of the week.
Go on, Mikel.
Well done, Mikel. Hopefully, future Only Football Fans interviewee, Mikel Antonio. One day we'll get you some.
Tag in,
yeah.
tag.
Tag. But yeah, so that brings that to a close, boys. Let's just get our predictions for the upcoming fixtures. So, like I messaged you boys earlier, our predictions for a couple of weeks ago, I'm gonna have to scrap them.
Oh man,
bullshit.
No, it's just one of them.
I reckon he forgot.
It is just one of them things, to be fair. But like, because
where's the proof? Where's the proof that he said
Matty to get his predictions in? So I can't. It's not ethically fair if I proceed with the predictions of that week.
Did you get any right, Greg?
I don't know.
Well, it was only 3 games. So Arsenal, Everton. What was the score of that?
1-0 to Everton. No one got that.
No one got that.
No, but I went 2-1.
What? 2-1 Everton?
Yeah, I went 2-1 Everton. I did, so I should have got 2 points.
Yeah, but that's fuck all. Liverpool, Newcastle. What was that?
1-1, wasn't it?
1.
I went 4-3.
No one got that. And Leeds, Man United, 1-0. No, 0-0.
No, that was the worst game ever.
0-0. Yeah, it was 0-0. Wasn't it?
Muck.
No one got that either. Don't matter. But yeah, so we're going to this weekend's predictions, boys. And first game in is the mighty Leeds versus Tottenham. So I'm going to go in first, and I'm going to go such a fucking hard one because I don't know if Phillips is about, and I don't know if Rafinha's fit. I'm just going to go on the basis that they're both fit, and I'm going to go 1-0 Leeds. Oil.
Can't see anything other than a Tottenham win, I'm afraid, Terence. I just think they'll have too much going forward for Leeds' defence. I don't think they'll be able to cope with the firepower that Spurs have. I'm going to narrow win for Spurs, 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, we won't be able to cope with them. We only cope with Man United, Man City, Liverpool. But, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Come back next week and see what happens.
What did you say, 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1 Spurs.
Greg?
Where is it? It's at Ellen Road.
Ellen Road, yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to go with Desmond.
I was thinking Desmond, to be fair.
I was thinking Desmond.
Don't backtrack, Matty. You've made your bed. Picking the Tottenham, even though you're a gooner.
I'm not backtracking.
Jonesy, go on, mate.
Not allowed to have an opinion against Leeds on this podcast. By the way, for anyone who's listening.
I'm glad you know that now.
3-1 Spurs. And it's only because it's different. My sort of scores I was thinking of have been taken, so I want something different. 3-1 Spurs.
Yeah, you've said it now.
3-1 Spurs.
Dave?
1-1.
1-1. I'm bringing home the points here if we win. Come on, get in. Right.
No, did you notice, for anyone else who's listening, that there was no negativity towards Dave's prediction because it wasn't a Leeds loss?
Standard, isn't it?
Know that. Just know
that. Liverpool, Southampton next. We'll start with you, Gory.
I'm quite confident. I reckon we'll do these 3-1.
Oh, straight in with a 3-1. Dave.
2-1 Liverpool.
Kyle.
4-1 Liverpool.
Fucking hell.
Goals this week, boys.
Boyle.
3-1 Liverpool. Ward-Prowse is all over a pen in the 88th minute.
I'm going to go 9-0 Liverpool.
9-0.
Yeah, Southampton are due another one, so I'm going straight in with a 9-0.
Fucking hell.
Villa, Man United. Jonesy.
2-1 United.
That's Man United.
Yeah, not Aston Villa United, yeah.
Dave.
Another 1-1. Sit on the fence today.
Gory.
2-0 United.
Ooh, I can't believe you call them United. You know. Boyle.
The grown-ups.
2-1 United.
Come on.
I'm going to go
7-0 Villa.
I'm going to go 0-0. Absolute snooze fest. 0-0. Next one, Arsenal, West Brom. We'll start with you, Dave.
2-0 Arsenal.
Boiler.
3-1 Arsenal. We're bound to let in a goal from some stupid mistake. So, yeah, we'll win. But, yeah, 3-1 Arsenal.
Greg.
2-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go 1-1 because I think you're going to be preoccupied with the Europa League, to be honest with you. Jonesy.
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Right, that concludes our predictions, lads, for the weekend. So, yeah, that sort of brings the episode to a close anyway, boys and girls. We're... like I said earlier in the episode, we've got our interview with Ivor Heller, AFC Wimbledon commercial director and founder, which will be coming out. I think I'm going to release that Friday. And then on Friday, we're actually recording our next interview with Leon Constantine, ex-Leeds United striker, amongst loads of other clubs that he played for, and he's a current football agent as well. So yeah, Leon seems a really good lad from speaking to him before our interview, and he's a mate of Seb Carroll, who's one of our boys from a previous interview. He's an absolute top man. So yeah, if he's mates with Seb, he can't be going far wrong, lads. He's got to be a good boy, isn't he? But yeah, so we'll be releasing that in the next week or so as well, once we get that recorded. But yeah, and also this weekend, Saturday. Obviously, bearing in mind it might not be going ahead at the moment because of like political reasons amongst Canelo's team and Billy Joe Saunders' team. But Billy Joe Saunders, who we've just had on the podcast, is going across to Texas, and he's challenging Saul Canelo Alvarez for all the belts at super middleweight, apart from one actually, which Caleb Plant's got. But yeah, so it's a unification fight at super middleweight. So yeah, make sure you all get behind Billy Joe this weekend, and like I said, hopefully we can get him back on once he's nicked Canelo's belts from his own backyard out there. It'd be good, eh? But yeah, until next time, guys. Thank you for watching on YouTube, and thanks for tuning in on the podcast platforms. Make sure you rate and review on them, and make sure you slap a like on the video and subscribe on the YouTube channel. But yeah, until next time, guys. All the best.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.